thank you to everyone in this room. It keeps getting larger, for giving us your time, the most precious resource you have, and your commitment to this work. We've made solid progress over the past year. We now have a detailed decarbonization strategy and a business case that really dials in the university's climate neutrality efforts. But there's a lot more happening across the university, in the classrooms, in our labs, in our research centers. In fact, over 70 different published stories in those specific areas occurred since we last met a year ago on Earth Day itself.
The world does not need more human calculators and encyclopedias. Instead, we just need students to be more human. Thinkers, communicators, creatives, we get to, and in fact, we have to teach humanity, care and compassion, independent of major. And I can think of absolutely no better priority today.
Before we can come together and make decisions, we have to think forward in the next generations, and that's manifest in the keynote, which relations to everything around us.
So we often think that resilience comes after crisis, in dramatic moments, or in places like slums. And when communities lead, and when design follows the realities on the ground, we don't just recover from or prepare for future shocks and threats. We start using data to design the world we actually want to live in.
The Carbon Reduction Challenge is a class that pairs teams of UB students with local businesses. They count their business's carbon footprint during the semester. They propose a climate action plan to get their business to net zero by a target date that they decide upon with their client. In the 5 years that we've taught this class, 70 students, working with 25 local businesses and organizations, have reduced Western New York's carbon footprint by 75,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide.
We're fortunate to have two opportunities that use their brain power, and then one of my personal favorite things, food, at this event today. While you were getting your breakfast this morning, I hope you had the opportunity to try some of 3 winning baked goods developed by teams of students that were graciously replicated by our friends at Campus Dining and Shops. These vegan baked goods were made from a product called Supplant, and what that product does is it salvages the byproducts of processing wheat, and corn, and sugar that would typically be thrown out or composted, and reuses it into a baking product. Higher in fiber, less in sugar, so less guilt overall about eating the apple cider donut bar, I guess, at breakfast. So better for us and the planet.
Food is something we all interact with multiple times a day. It's our most basic human need, and yet it's overlooked in the climate conversation. Climate-friendly food can be delicious, fun, and totally unassuming. That's what inspired Impasto, a plant-based, low-carbon, cheese-like sauce made from potatoes and carrots.
Since their inception in 2015, UB's Sustainability, Leadership, Innovation, and Collaborative Engagement Awards, better known as SLICE, have provided us an opportunity to highlight the exemplary sustainability efforts of the UB community. This year's SLICE Award is made of reclaimed concrete from the Baker Chilled Water Plant, which has started its decarbonization transformation to become the backbone of UB's North Campus clean energy strategy.
The challenge of addressing climate change is meeting today's needs without sacrificing the needs of the next generation. It requires both decisive action and long-term vision. That is what UB has been doing for decades and will continue to do so as we advance our climate action goals. So I encourage all of you to continue to be part of the aspirations and solutions in advancing our sustainability and climate action throughout our operations, research, teaching, in the classroom and the lab, through scholarship, creative work, and across our local and global communities.
My experience at UB led me to the organization that I'm proud to represent today. AASHE is the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. There are dedicated change agents like all of you at campuses around the globe. There are pain-in-the-butt students like I was, rallying their administrations to do better. There are faculty working to ensure that students understand the breadth and depth of sustainability, and not just about the science and the realities of climate change, but of solutions. Congratulations to you all, UB. I'm proud to stand alongside you today and to continue to do the important work of advancing climate action with you moving forward. Happy Earth Day.